Hey YouTube, whenever a global event happens that is completely outside the wheelhouse of what I talk about in most of my videos, I always feel conflicted. On the one hand, I think, I got a global audience. This is obviously going to be on people's minds. I should talk about it. I should share some words for whatever that means, whatever that's worth. But then another part of me wonders, is it worth anything? Is it actually, who am I to talk about anything? Why do we have this culture where everyone needs to talk about everything all the time? Does that make a difference? Or is it just feeding our individual egos and making us the center of attention? Let's hear what Dan has to say about COVID, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, climate change, all the other screwed up situations we have in the world today. But that's also a very cynical approach to take, because at the end of the day, what are we other than our voices? I think someone has a right to stay silent. I don't think everyone needs to speak. Sometimes people say silence is violence. They try and say, if you're not part of this cause, then you're with the enemy. I don't agree. I don't think silence is violence. Sometimes silence is just feeling overwhelmed and hopeless and not having the words to share on social media, Well, with this shit going on in Ukraine right now, it hurts me as a traveler. I'm not Ukrainian. I did grow up with Ukrainian friends. Canada actually has a huge Ukrainian population. Third biggest in the world after Russia and Ukraine, of course. So of course I know Ukrainians. I have Ukrainian friends to this day. And it's just when something like this happens, it makes me wonder why I make travel videos where I'm just walking around a town and trying to smile and trying to just encourage people to travel. Could I be doing something much more meaningful with my videos? Could I be flying to Ukraine and trying to film what's going on over there? Would that benefit people? Would that lead to a positive outcome for anyone? Or would that just be me making it all about myself again? Is a video like this even, as I said at the beginning, is it even making a difference? I wonder about this stuff. I really do. I wonder what the way forward is. And I feel like, a lot of times people just check out when it comes to politics and stuff. A lot of people just check out. They're just there's just too much. The world is fucked. The world's always been fucked and always will be fucked. And then people live this cynical life where they're things can't be changed because that's just the way human nature is. And if there's a war, well, hey, there's gonna be another war tomorrow, another war the day after that, because that's what humans do. They try to kill each other. But humans do a lot of beautiful stuff too. Humans built this park I'm sitting in right now. We didn't build the trees and the grass that grew up naturally around us, of course, but we see the beauty in nature and we form it into something new. That's the thing about the world. It's so intensely miserable and so intensely beautiful at the exact same time. And what do you focus on? Do you focus on the sunset behind you, or do you focus on the war in Ukraine? Maybe it feels better to focus on that sunset, but maybe the war actually needs people focusing on it, because if people focus on it, we get global movements to actually boycott products from Russia and put pressure on Putin and try to actually end the suffering, the needless suffering of millions of people, which is happening right now. Sometimes it sucks focusing on the darker part. Sometimes people just, they don't want to hear it. And I get it. I really get it. But sometimes you need to be able to face that darkness head on and not shy away from it. And I'm going to try and do something on this channel about Ukraine. Maybe when I'm back in Canada, I can fly there. Maybe I can try and bring some supplies which can help people. Maybe I can try and raise some money. I'm not doing a fundraiser on this video today because I just feel like at this point, anyone who wants to donate money will know how to do that. In fact, I can put a link to a couple other YouTubers I've seen who are doing very powerful work, either in Ukraine or at the borders of the country, and they'll have links where you can donate. But I don't want to just be sitting here in, you know, Latin America talking like I am. It's all about me. This isn't about me. It's not about you either, but it's simultaneously about all of us. It's about humanity, you know. It's about what world we want to build. And that's the problem with shying away from these topics. That's the problem with not saying anything. It's, you know, there's this quote, it's like, you might not care about politics, but politics cares about you. And will always care about you. And will always affect your life whether you're paying attention to it or not. So you better get to know that devil who you hate and understand it if you want to make the world a better place. Then again, there are people who just do their own thing who make the world a better place. I mean, the gardener who cut this grass behind me, maybe he or she doesn't know anything about, couldn't even find Ukraine on a map, but has left some beautiful grass here for me to sit on and do whatever the hell this video is. Bugs. But I just think it sucks, you know. It sucks for the people in Ukraine who are watching their country get destroyed. It sucks for the Russians who, as I understand it, the vast majority of them want nothing to do with this war either. It's one of the first lessons you learn when you travel. People are not their government. Don't say you hate Russians because you hate the action of a Russian leader. Doesn't mean the people living there are any different than you or I. The world's pretty messed up these days. But it doesn't have to be, you know. None of this is inevitable. There's no wars if there's no one to fight. Everything is controlled by humans. It's just when we let ourselves get manipulated by leaders, so-called leaders, or the media, or these ideologies that fill us with hate. That's what fucks everything up. But if you can remember that way you feel when you meet a good friend, that individual feeling of love that you have for other human beings, and you can apply that to everyone, there would be no wars. How could there be? How could you ever kill anyone if you actually see them as you see your best friend? You couldn't. It's not possible.